What's going on? Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH Pod. If you've been following along and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Tell your friends, like it, swipe up on it, double tap it, comment it, all the things. Screenshot the logo and put it on your story. Help us spread the good word so we can continue to have on awesome guests like we have on today. If you haven't checked out movefastliftheavy.com, you can see that, all things apparel and fitness. All right. Speaking of all things apparel and fitness, all things trendy, all things cool in the world, let's bring on founder of MFLH, the man from Long Island. Let's see what I got today for this intro for Christian. Let's see what I can dig up. What can I muster up here? The man from Long Island who likes to pose as a cool Jay-Z, Kanye fan, but deep down in his heart, he has a love, a passion, a unwavering desire to be the number one fan of none other than Dolly Parton. Please welcome Dolly Parton's biggest fan, Christian Harris.
Yo!
What's up, Dolly?
If I knew you were gonna give me that, I would have had my Dolly shirt on.
Oh, did you get one?
I did. I had to do it.
For everyone that's listening or watching on YouTube, Christian and his family recently just got back from Dollywood. Tell us about Dollywood.
It was a great time. It was much more fun than I was expecting. Never having experienced Tennessee like that, my expectations were kind of like very country, kind of in the sticks kind of thing, but it was a lot of fun. Dollywood. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I would rank it up there close to Disney, honestly.
Wow, damn.
Yeah. It was a great time. And they had their spring flower and food festival. So the park was all decked out with all these different cool flower arrangements and displays, and they also had all these chefs that prepared all these different dishes for experiencing different tastes. So there was one that was Korean. There was a dessert that I had. It was a waffle ice cream sandwich. Dipped in chocolate it was crazy.
You can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah, it was great.
All right, well, I'm glad you let your hair down a bit. You're right back into training with your cardio party today, off your Train with CH program. Speaking of other people that are prepping for big things to come in semifinals, our guest will also be hitting up the semis. Not sure which one. We'll have to ask her. So why don't you intro our guest for today?
Yeah, so our next guest, I had the opportunity to meet, I think it was a COVID year or just after COVID year, we did a shoot for Reebok introducing the new Nano X1 Adventures. Sweet girl, very talented athlete. I remember first seeing her in person when I was on the demo team at the games, and it was the clean and jerk event. And I was just blown away by how easily she was powering these lifts. She was making the barbell look super light. So she's a multi-year games athlete. She's had a placing as high as 7th at the games. This year, she was 20th in the World Wide Open and 4th in North America after the quarterfinals. I'm really looking forward to seeing her compete this year. Our next guest is Amanda Barnhart.
Hey, let's go.
Hey guys.
What's up?
That was a great intro. You crushed it.
Nice job.
I appreciate it. So that was the clean and jerk event, right? that I was talking
Yeah,
about?
are you
It was
talking about
2019.
well, 2018 was the clean and jerk ladder that I won, but 2019 was just the clean, like the heavy clean. So
Oh, it was the clean. It was the clean.
okay, yeah, because we had like the speed ladder in 2018 that I won, but 2019 was just the clean where T and I like went head to head.
Yeah. So being a former D1 swimmer, where does the strength for moving a barbell so easily come from?
You know, everyone always asks me where it comes from, and I'm like, I don't know, and I know that that's the worst answer, but my mom is strong as heck, and she just like works in the yard, and she's really, really strong. So I feel like a lot of it is probably natural. And then I've done sports my whole life. So I think that like my natural tendency to be strong has always been there. And then I've just kind of like fed it with doing sports forever. And I'm a bigger athlete. So moving weight has just kind of always been my thing.
Aside from swimming, what other sports did you play?
When I was really young, I started with gymnastics and swimming and ballet, actually. And I did gymnastics and competitive swimming for a while. And then once I got to like school age, like middle school, I wanted to play like school sports. So I started playing volleyball and running track. And then in high school, I did volleyball, swimming, and track. So those were kind of like my favorite sports. Volleyball was probably my favorite. I played year round and did like club volleyball. Just totally fell in love with it.
So volleyball is a pretty explosive sport,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having to be able to jump up and spike and all that kind of stuff. So I think
I
you've
mean,
got some in there.
do a lot of I did do a ton of plyo training for volleyball, but I didn't do a bunch of lifting. It was just like, but I guess that would make sense. Like leg power, like we did a ton of like it's called like a vertibax machine where you kind of get like strapped down,
Oh yeah.
you jump and it's like weighted. It's really cool.
Yep, I remember that thing.
Yeah.
So when did you get into CrossFit?
So CrossFit, I was swimming in college and like they tell us you're supposed to like lift over the summers and follow the program, but we're like, this is really boring. We don't want to do this, in the middle of summer by ourselves in the YMCA gym, like trying to lift. So I convinced my sister to join a CrossFit gym with me just for like staying in shape over the summer. And we loved it. So we started doing CrossFit every day. And then we would go to swim practice afterwards. And then when we went back to school in the fall, we didn't do it obviously, but I wanted to keep doing it. So that was kind of like my intro to it. And then I think at that point, I probably had 2 more years of undergrad left. So I would just do it in the summer. And then once I graduated from school, like before grad school, I just started doing CrossFit all the time for fitness. Like I didn't really have any desire or any idea that I could possibly be really good at it. I just did it because I really liked it and I loved working out. So
Cool. Damn. That's great.
You're no longer in Ohio, right, Amanda? You're up in New England with CompTrain right now?
Yeah. So last January, my husband and I moved to Boston to train with CompTrain and the crew up here, just because it's, training alone is very challenging, and I'd been doing it for so many years, and I was just ready to make a change. And it's been so nice because it's like I actually have realized how spoiled I am now. Like because obviously we don't do everything together, but occasionally there'll be something that I'm like, gotta do something by myself. And I'm like devastated that I have to do a workout by myself. I'm like, how did I used to do this every single day, every single workout? It's like one piece out of the whole day that's something small that I have to do by myself. And I'm like trying to will myself to get through it. And you just realize how lucky you are to have people to train with every day.
I literally just had this conversation with my teammate Nicole. So I went on vacation, but a few months leading up to it, I told the team, I'm going to be going away these dates. We have a family vacation that's been planned for a while. So if you guys want to go away, like this would be the time to do it. So, right now we're pretty much all getting ready to come back to training together, but over the past week, just training solo has been so different. The energy and just not having that push from day to day, it's been quite the difference.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You got to have your mind right going in the gym, like knowing that you're going to be by yourself. Like you got to be prepared for it. And if like you're not, it's like, I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to leave.
Oh yeah. And then trying to train while traveling in new surroundings, like trying to figure the gym out, where you can go, where you're not being a nuisance.
It's
It
very
was
stressful.
it was a interesting week.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
that's cool to hear as a mere mortal listening to the podcast that you also struggle with training alone. So that's cool to hear. How do you push past that when you do have to train alone? And then second question, once we get through that, how do you just adapt to the new location? What was that like with your husband, his job, things like that? So first question one was getting through the solo sessions, and question two, just how has your process been so far with this new change of pace in Boston?
Honestly, the solo sessions like pretty much never happen. So it's not really something I have to deal with. Like even the other yesterday, I like had a piece that no one else had, and I ended up getting someone to do it with me. So there's always a bunch of people like fitnessing at CrossFit New England that you can find someone to jump in with you. But I mean, if not, it's just knowing that like you got to get this done. You know what you need to do. You know about how fast you need to go, and just like focusing on that and not feeling sorry for yourself that you have to do it alone, because that's reality sometimes. But about the move, so when we knew we wanted to come here, my husband had a great job in Ohio, and we were kind of like, we know that we're not going to live in, well, we don't think we're going to live in Boston forever, but I guess you never know. So I was like, I just didn't want him to like uproot his job and then start a whole new job and then us, not be here forever. And he had been taking classes one at a time while working full time for many, many years, like super tedious. So we had kind of decided that he would just try to transfer his credits and see where that left him and then go to school full time while we're here, try to get it done. So that's what he's doing right now. He's going to Northeastern University for engineering, and he's got a little over a year, about a year and a half left with school now. So it's been super nice. I mean, number one, he's around a lot more because it's basically all online. Number two, he's finally getting through school, because before it felt like he was doing school forever but making like no progress. So being able to go full time has been amazing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a big change for us. Like he really wishes he was working. He loves working. He's just a worker at heart. So he misses it, but I think it will be worth it in the long run that he's got the degree done and then can like truly get a job that he wants to be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise like, adapting to being here last year was very challenging, and not from like we loved it. It was so much fun. We had a great group. The dynamic was good. And I think that the challenging part was that we didn't realize how hard it was on us from a training perspective. Like you think, you feel beat up. You're like, oh, this is CrossFit. You're supposed to feel beat up. You just kind of like push through it. The camaraderie of the group, like everyone's doing the workout. You feel like you got to do the workout. And there was a lot of days looking back now where I probably shouldn't have done a workout or should have changed something, or, my recovery was not where it should have been. And I just, kind of grinded and dug a hole, as we call it. And that like a lot of CrossFitters have the mentality that just like, just get through it. But really what I've learned at this point in my career is that like most of the time that does way more harm than good. You're not getting better when you're digging holes, and they're hard to get out of. So that's something we learned last year, brought into this year, that we're doing a lot better, is being able to say like, I'm not okay today. I need to change something. And it's okay if you're not doing what everyone else is doing. That's the blessing and the curse of training with other games athletes, is because you see someone else doing it, you feel like you need to be doing it. And if you were on your own in your own gym, you would be like, oh yeah, I feel a little off today. I'm going to change something. No big deal. Wouldn't think twice about it. But you see two other athletes over there doing what you originally had planned. It causes a bit of stress, especially when it's someone that you're going to be competing against at the games. So we've learned to manage that way, way better. And last year was the learning year. And now I feel like we're in a really, really good groove with it.
Do you have anyone within your group that's kind of the peer pressure athlete that's like, come on, Amanda, you come on? Like when you're trying to dial it back, does anyone, give you that little?
Honestly, no, because Chandler and Chandler and I both, like, if one of us says, like, I'm not feeling, like, how are you feeling right now? Like, as much as I want him to be able to do everything with me and he wants me to do everything with him, we're both like super understanding that, like, no, I don't want you to dig this hole. I'd rather you be with me, all training day, Friday and Saturday. If you have to take one piece off today or whatever, I feel like we're pretty good about it. A lot of the other girls that we train with are much younger than Chandler and I. So we also have to remember that, like, 21, 22, 19, like, they can do more and they kind of need to do more because they haven't had the volume tolerance of years of training like we have. So being able to realize that too is, sometimes still challenging, but I think that the dynamic wise, yeah, we're pretty good about not making each other feel bad about it just because we know that it's for our own good.
Chandler's a funny guy. I was gonna guess the opposite. I thought he would have been the one saying, giving you a hard time, but I guess maybe he's just silly in different areas, just not that one.
Yeah, I feel like if it was like some bro of his, he definitely would do that to them and make them feel bad about it. But since, like, I'm his teammate and he knows that I'm trying to be the best me, like, he doesn't want to ruin what I have going, just for his own good.
Right. Christian, you had something?
How old are y'all?
I'm 30 and Chandler's, I believe, 28. So
Okay. It's not quite that old yet, but
no, but still,
30 is where you start feeling it, though.
I can't do as much volume as a 22-year-old. There's like a difference.
No, I 100% agree. I'm always astounded by seeing how talented and how much these younger athletes can do. I just saw one of these athletes that, again, my teammate showed me. I think her name is Kayla something. I think she's like 18 years old. She's going to a semis, and she did a workout. She started the set with 20 unbroken ring muscle ups for like an 18-year-old girl that had 80 muscle ups total in this workout. I was just blown away by it.
Wow. I can't do 20 unbroken, so good for her.
Yeah, neither can I. So these young kids, it's impressive to see what this sport is going to look like in another 5 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
Let's transition into maybe who you'll see at semis. What semifinal were you seated in?
Granite Games.
So
so we'll see you there.
Oh yeah? Nice.
Yeah, we're at Granite. We just found out.
Praying it's not going to be a million degrees, right?
Yeah. It was hot last year. Go ahead, Christian, give her the skinny about what it's like to be there.
Are you staying in the hotel? Like, do you have that stuff booked up yet?
Yeah.
All right, so the hotel is super convenient because it's right on the premises. It's about a 400-meter walk over to the venue. So you got it good there with staying at the hotel for sure. As long as it's not too hot, it should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone said last year was like a crazy anomaly, so I'm hoping.
Yeah. I believe on Saturday it was 115 on the turf. Like it was just unbearable.
Yeah. That is, I don't do well in the heat anyways, so that makes me really nervous. I'm like, I really don't want that heat to be the reason that your season gets cut short. Like, that would be devastating.
Yeah. How's the weather been over in Boston? Similar to us, I'm assuming, here in New York?
That's not great. We've had a couple of good days, but it's like I'm getting to the point now where it's like, okay, I'm sick of it being cold.
Yeah. I remember last year being much warmer, and like when I knew that we were going to be at Granite Games, just like training outdoors and like preparing for that, but it's way too cold. I think it was 30 this morning.
Yeah, it was like 38 here this morning. It's not been, I was like just talking to someone about it the other day. I'm like, I hate how we get these days where you get like one day of 65 degrees and then it's cold again. And then literally in a couple weeks, it's going to be 85. Like, it's just never get, if we could just have a month of like 70 degrees, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. I know Joe's not complaining about that.
Down in Miami, definitely not. Well, besides what you're hoping for the weather, are you hoping for anything in particular, movement-wise or workout-wise, at the Granite Games? There's the track. You obviously have a big football field, which is different than other venues. Have you and your coaches started to kind of think about that or done some research on what the workouts were last year, etc.?
I mean, yes and no. I don't hope for anything. I just try to be prepared and show up. But Chandler competed at Granny Games last year, and I did a few of the, like, once they started releasing them, I did some of them with him to help him train. So I'm very familiar with what they did last year. I know kind of the history of Granny Games pretty well, but planning to be prepared for whatever, and not hoping for anything. So
I like it. Was that always kind of a mantra of yours, or where did you pick that kind of mentality up?
I just think after years and years of competing, it's like you learn that, like, number one, I don't want to do well just because wheelhouse workouts show up. Like, I want to do well because I'm well-rounded, and I want the high volume gymnastics to show up, and the running and all the stuff where people think I'm not going to do well, and show that, I've truly earned it. I don't want it just to be heavy barbells and power output workouts and everyone to be like, well, no surprise, Amanda Barnhart did well. I want it to be a well-rounded test so we get the fittest people to the games, and to show all the hard work that I've been doing. Like, I work so hard on all the weaknesses. So it's a good stepping stone between now and the games to see where you're at. So if you don't test it, it's like, you're going into games training kind of being like, where am I at with this stuff that we've been working on all year? So you definitely want to see it. And then, it's just part of experience. I feel like as a rookie, everyone's like thinking about what they don't want to show up, and it's always going to show up. So I just learned that you don't want to hope for nothing. Like, you want to be prepared for whatever is going to come. And, if it's a challenging workout for you, just be excited about how you're going to grow from it.
Christian, let's put Amanda on the hot seat.
All right. So, Amanda, got a few questions here for you. Just give us the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Would you rather move fast or lift heavy?
Lift heavy.
Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Current favorite sneaker?
Ooh, Float Ride Runners Reebok.
Favorite brunch food?
Ooh, biscuits.
Power or squat?
Power.
Favorite song?
Song? Ooh, any country song. I can't pick out of one.
If you had to pick one movement for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Power cleans.
All right. You survived the hot seat.
The correct answer, Amanda, was Morgan Wallen 865. That's the
Ooh,
correct.
that is a good one.
That's right now my repeat country song for sure.
Really? I'm trying to think what Morgan Wallen one I like best. I like Somebody's Problem. I like
What about Dangerous?
yes, Dangerous is good. Isn't there like a wind one? Something I was wondering about the wind. That one's good.
Mm-hmm. The whole, it's amazing. He released a double album, and rarely do I skip over any of them. I like all of them. And for a double album with over 20 songs to not really Christian, you can just leave now. Like, you don't
He doesn't like country music.
You won't.
I'm not gonna say I dislike it, but I just don't listen to it. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He went to Dollywood.
Why did you go to Dollywood then?
That's
I hear
what I
Tennessee
said.
is a great place to be.
When Christian told me he was taking his family to Dollywood, I was like, oh, that's a mistake. He's gonna hate it.
I've actually been to Dollywood.
What did you think? What did you think
time.
about Dollywood, Amanda?
It was so long ago, I don't really remember, but I feel like I had a lot of fun.
You got to go back.
It's been a long time. Like, we went to the Smoky Mountains on like a family vacation, and then we stopped in Dollywood and for like a day. I just remember it kind of being like an amusement park and country music and food and like doing some water rides, and that's pretty much all I remember.
Okay, so country music. You have two dogs. What kind of dog? Let's see. Who's Amanda Barnhart outside of CrossFit? What are your two dogs? You have two dogs or more than two?
Two dogs.
Okay, what are their names? What breed?
Okay, that couldn't be more opposite on the breed. So we have a pit bull mix who's 14, and his name is Huey, and we have a golden doodle who is 2, and his name's Teddy.
Nice.
That's a good name for a golden doodle.
Yeah. Well, his name's Theodore. We actually just call him Ted, which is way cooler than Teddy, but
Yeah.
I love animal names that are human names. I love when people name animals.
like old names too.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
And I also like the mismatch. I think that's cute when you see two dogs walking down the street and it's like this big ass dog and then a
Oh
small.
my gosh, that's so funny. Like, especially in the town we live in Natick in Boston, golden doodles are everywhere. So it's just like we're like walking down the street with our pit bull, and like the other day, someone like pulled up next to us and was like, "That's a good looking pitty," and my husband was so excited because he was like, "This isn't exactly the area where people get excited about pit bulls. It's like all golden
Right.
man." So he was like, "Yes."
Okay, so dogs, country. What else? Who else is Amanda outside of the box?
Gosh, I love the sun and being outside. Like water and sun are like two of my favorite things. So I have like loved, that's one of the things I've loved about Boston compared to where I lived in Ohio, is that there's lakes and bodies of water everywhere. The ocean's nearby. It's like, so it makes me happy to see the sun and see the water. It's just like, makes my day.
Nice.
Must be the swimmer in me, but just like growing up,
Yeah.
we went to the beach a ton. Like my parents were always like, "Where do you guys want to go on vacation?" And it was like, we always wanted to go to the beach. Like we didn't go many other places growing up because we always chose the beach over anywhere else. So just have always been a water baby.
Cool. My last question before Christian's last question, we let you go. In the future of the CrossFit Games, outside of Madison, Wisconsin, where would you want to see the CrossFit Games located?
If I'm not competing, somewhere cool that's like, I don't care about the temperature, the elevation, or, any of those details. But as a competitor, I'm like, all I think about is I don't want it to be 1,000,000 degrees and I don't want to be at elevation. Like I want it to be in a good, like I think Madison's great for that reason. It's a good low central location. It's not insanely hot there. It's summer, but it's manageable. I know that there was like talk of moving it to Texas or Colorado, and both of those spots, I'm like, wow, that sounds like torture. So, but from a spectator perspective, I know that, growing the sport is important and getting more eyes on it is huge. So I want to see it grow from that standpoint, but I also don't want the athletes to suffer at the same time.
So is your answer keep it in Madison?
Yeah, I would love it to stay in Madison. I think Madison's great. Like I remember when they first said they were moving there, I'm like, Madison, Wisconsin, what? But like it's a cool city. I think
It
that
is.
just like so many awesome restaurants and just like the college town vibe and the water, and everyone's so active there. It's not just CrossFit, it's just an active community, and I really do like it there.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right,
I
Christian,
agree for sure.
I'll let you wrap up our episode here with Amanda.
Yeah, just last thing for me is going deeper into the season. Just what are some of your things that you're doing to put your best foot forward for this year's games?
Just kind of what I said before, like I'm learning that for me right now, it's not about doing more. It's about quality work and making sure that, the stuff I am doing is intentional and I'm not digging holes when I don't need to be, and knowing the fine line between when you need to push more and when you need to, take a little bit of extra rest, listening to my body. Cause I think showing up to the games fit and healthy is the most important thing. Like anyone can drive themselves into the ground for a couple months of training, but then you're not showing up ready for your best self. So that's my goal.
Cool.
All right. Well, Amanda, thanks for being on the episode with us. Good luck at the Granite Games. We'll see you there. If
Awesome.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of support, but if you need a runner to go get you some water or something, you could say, "Hey, random podcast guy that I met. Hey, can you give me some water? I'll help you out as a fellow Ohioan." So rooting for you, and have a great rest of your season. All right.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
See you in a month.
All right, Amanda Barnhart there on MFLH Pod. Christian, would you like to, I don't know, sing us a Dolly song to send us off? I'm just kidding.
What's the one? It was Jolene?
Yeah, Jolene. Working 9 to 5. Got 9 to 5. I think those are the only 2 songs I know from her.
Yeah.
But all right, my guy. I'll see you on the next one. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, later. All right, there we go. That's another episode of Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. We are dropping vlogs on the weekly, as well as these podcasts here. If you're on a podcast platform, again, subscribe. It would be great for you to give a little love so that we can keep spreading the good word. If you want to try out Christian's program, Train with CH, you can check that out at movefastliftheavy.com. I'm Joe Roscoe. Until the next time, we'll see you later.